Love isn't love till you've given it away. It's just waiting to be given. Bitterness erased. By this men will know that you're Christ's disciples. None other take your place. Love isn't love till you give it away. Well, that song was on my heart this morning as I got up to worship. And by the way, uh, good to, good to you know communicate with you guys again with by a way of this vlog. And I do miss you guys. And to the 5 people that of all my subscribers, and I think some of them are not even subscribers. I think 2 of them are not, 2 or 3 of them not subscribers. Uh, People have called me and asked me. A couple people called me that are my subscribers and not my subscriber. 5 people altogether, and they've were asking me, why did I stop? Uh, did I get lazy? Uh, why did I stop? When am I gonna do this quarterly Sabbath school lesson for the beginning of 2015, and so on and so forth? Because I think in December I only did 1 video in December, I believe. That was my last video. So it's been a while, and I have gotten into a line of study, Bible study, that I've been investigating. Now, and let me throw this out. First of all, let me, for those of you that do not know me, I am Prophet6, family prophet to the angel of the church to the Laodicean. I usually don't start off singing, so don't expect that. don't expect that every time. But I had a song on my heart, and I said, hey, I'll throw it out there, and and that song, by the way, was by commission, and I think the name of it is "Love Isn't Love Till You Giving It Away." And if that's not the name of, just type that in the actual song name of the song will come up, and you can play it on YouTube or whatever. It's a nice song, beautiful song. They killed it. But anyway, uh, I've been in a line of study, and I really have been investigating the rod message. I've always was real suspicious about, or let me say inquisitive, about who in the world is the 144,000. And after coming, and I want to tell you, one of the things that got me onto the Shepherd's Rod message was, guess what? The Seventh-day Adventist Church. It actually put me on the track of the Shepherd's Rod message. And I want to tell you why. They had a baptism. Boy, this is supposed to be a short video. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. Now watch this. Okay. Maybe I want to do this in parts. But the day I got baptized, the second time into the Seventh-day Adventist Church. No, was that no, that was the first time. And the reason why I got baptized, I don't know if I got baptized twice now. I really don't know. I think the second time I just rededicated because they lost track of the people from George Rainey's tent effort. At least they lost track of me. Let me say that. And they really didn't start. If they started a church after that effort, I didn't know nothing about it. And I got just lost. And so I think P.C. Willis came back maybe the next year or a couple years later. But in any event, when I was at George Rainey's tent effort, somewhere, because I may have some people that actually, I want to give some detail because, you know, that nostalgia, you know, and all that. I might have some people that got baptized with me that were actually at the effort. I think that's where that Walgreens is right now on 73rd and Ashland, somewhere around there. But anyway, when I came out of the baptistry, and the guy who actually took me under was Humphrey. I can't think of his name, you know. He baptized me, came up, dried off, still trying to get baptistry water out of my ear. I was convinced about the Sabbath. I was convinced about the Sabbath. I was convinced about everything that they were saying there because I didn't know anything. And so I remember distinctly and clearly, vividly, trying to get this baptism water out my ear. Two old ladies walked up to me. This is actually what got me on the path of the Shepherd's Rod. I'm getting the baptism water out my ear. Two mean-looking ladies, old ladies, so-called African-American ladies, walk up to me. And they just looked at me. I don't know these ladies from nobody. And they say, you're going to be a shepherd's rod one day. Now, remember now, I didn't even know what a Seventh-day Adventist was. I really didn't know. Really didn't. I didn't know what I was getting into when I got baptized. Like most. But I said, huh? You're going to be a shepherd's rod. And they stormed off. Now remember this, y'all. Remember this. Because I want to tell you, Seventh-day Adventists, they hate the Davidian movement, which teaches the shepherd's rod message. That's a distinction that a lot don't make. They hate it, especially back then. Oh, in the 80s, oh, they hated it. And this shepherd's rod, they called them shepherd's rod back then. They were really Davidians. And I'm getting this baptism water on my ear. These two ladies talking about shepherd's rod. And so they stormed off. And I couldn't, I mean, at that time, and let me tell you how old I was, by the way. I was about 16. Shepherd's Rod. I'm like, Shepherd's Rod, what is that? They storm off. So I go to Pastor Humphrey, and I ask him, what is a shepherd's rod? He looked at me with his eyes bucked and with some deep concern in his face. And I don't remember what he said, but I disturbed him by asking him that question. So I went asking somebody else. I asked George Rainey. He was disturbed. You see how I'm on the path? You see? Each person is feeding, nurturing, growing my curiosity. So I just held that back. I asked so many people that day. I disturbed everybody. I remember this. What is a shepherd's rod? What is a shepherd's rod? So that always stayed in my head. And another thing that also stayed, why was these people so disturbed by the question? Why? I could not understand that. I could not understand it. Nobody wanted to answer the question. They threw me off. Oh, you don't need to be concerned about that. I never got an answer. So when I came back to PC Willis's tent effort that was on 63rd Street, so like 63rd and Racine, somewhere over there, right across the street from the L. I'm doing that for those who are from Chicago and they might know, they can picture the place, the vacant lot that was there. I had never forgot it. Very moved, very stirred by PC Willis's teaching and preaching. And so, I said, okay, this is serious. And this jogged my memory. I think it was a couple years later after PC Willis's. It may have been 3 years. I don't know. But in any event, so I came in. And so I found out that there was a church that they were getting on 70th and Laughlin. So I started going there. And I was like, wow, so Seventh-day Adventist is an actual denomination. Okay. So I began to understand a little bit more. But when I came in and I started going to New Life, Seventh-day Adventist Church, it's really interesting to me that's around the time that the Shepherd's Rod movement, so-called Shepherd's Rod movement, because I don't think the guy who they were really talking about really wasn't officially a card-carrying member of any Davidian pasture. They call them pastures. Okay. But he believed the message. And apparently he was going around from church to church, him and his people, and they were passing out literature advocating the Shepherd's Rod message. And it would seem like I would, no matter every 7 day, I found out there were other Seventh-day Adventist churches in our area. So I would visit them. And it seemed like back then it was not without fail. Almost every time I visited church, these Shepherd's Rod just left. And everybody, it was so much consternation and confusion and oh, the Shepherd's Rod, oh, the Shepherd's Rod was just here. It was terrible. It was horrible. And I was like, what did they do? What is the Shepherd's Rod? So even though between George Rainey's and PC Willis's, there was this span of time, I didn't forget about that confrontation with these two old ladies at Rainey's, George Rainey's tent effort. And so I asked again, what is it? What did they do when they was here? Oh, it was terrible. They was passing out literature It was terrible. I was like, what literature? What is the shepherd's rod? Nobody never knew. Nobody could never explain what it was. And I think back then, most people didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was. The pastor told them, stay away from them people, and that's it. And I mean, back then, people was really stupid. I mean, just like they are today. I mean, sheepish. Let me say that. Let me be a little kinder. Sheepish. Very sheeple. But anyway, I really have digressed hugely. So, from the Shepherd's Rod message, I went to Maryland. When I lived in Frederick, Maryland, Amazing Facts at that time was in Frederick, Maryland. Joe Cruz was still alive. I would go there, pass by that place all the time. They had the little church there. I forget the name of it. I don't know. I think it was Frederick Seventh-day Adventist Church, whatever. And I lived there for about 5 years. In the last year that I was in Frederick, Maryland, I got really deep in the 144,000 teaching. It was shock to me that the first vision that Ellen G. White, one of the founders, not the founder, but one of the founders of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, her first vision was of the 144,000. So I spent about 2 or 3 months just hammering that topic, asking questions, scouring for literature, buying books. And I wanted to know more about the 144,000. So I remember one time I was in West Virginia, because I would frequently go to D.C. from Frederick, Maryland, West Virginia, all kind of places, D.C., all kind of places. And I wanted to know more about the 144,000. Is it a real group or literal or figurative group? And I want to tell you, Seventh-day Adventists hate the topic of the 144,000. And when I say hate, and when I say they, as a denomination, a leadership, as the angel of the Church of Laodicea, they hate that doctrine. You know why? Because it points to the nation of Israel. And Christians, by and large, period, no matter what denomination, they believe in replacement theology of that nation. That's what they believe. So, Adventist version of the replacement theology is different from that of fundamentalist Baptists, fundamentalist evangelicals on this topic. Although it's the same, but it's nuanced. The similarities are nuanced. Now, but it's replacement theology nonetheless. So I'm studying this topic, and I remember when I was in the heat of studying this topic, I visited some church that had just got started in West Virginia. So I went to it, and there was a battle broke out. My favorite time in the Seventh-day Adventist Church is Sabbath school. Period. Sabbath school. When I didn't even know anything about the scriptures. Sabbath school. You keep all that preaching, all that singing and dancing. Back then they wasn't miming and all that clownish stuff. But you keep all that. Study. Corporate study. If any church had study for 3 hours, I would go, even if it was a Baptist church. I would go to that. But we don't like to study like that. So, but anyway. Boy, this is way longer than I want it to be. You know what? I'm going to give a part 2 to this. It's 23 minutes already. Wow. But anyway, I want to give you a part 2 to this. This Prophet6 signing out. Look for part 2. All right. Is this thing gonna pause? My thing don't. My video don't pause when it's supposed to. I guess it's gonna pause any second now. That's why I need new equipment. Okay. Love is in love. Do